And I think a lot of people are like me, to where they understand what looks great, but they can't tell you why it feels great or why it looks great. The little amount every single day is a lot.
Yep.
If you can't do 10 minutes a day to working on like a playbook or a business or like something within your business to help you get to where we're talking about today, like do it for 1 hour a week, or 30 minutes a week, like whatever it is. Those little things compound over time.
Welcome to the Premium Mindset, the weekly podcast where homegrown entrepreneurs and business owners, Evan Ritchey and Cameron Bawden, share the good, the bad, and the ugly of modern entrepreneurship and reveal what really happens behind the scenes of their personal and professional lives. As owners of two of America's fastest growing and most disruptive companies, Coconut Cleaning and Green Mango Pest Control. Stay tuned for real stories, struggles, insight, and advice from real entrepreneurs in real time.
What's going on today's episode of the Premium Mindset? Cameron and I are taking a deep dive on the important principle of uniformity on rules and having templates in every department and for every system that will give you and your team the highest probability to succeed. You and I got in a little tiff a couple weeks ago.
No.
And it was about like paint, right? So we have, a gentleman here that has been doing our paint. Has he done Green Mango's paint forever, or like a couple years in?
Probably safely since 2000. Well, at least 2015, 16, because he did all the other companies. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
At least 10, 12 years.
So let me highlight why someone like Cameron and your characteristics is so important in your business. And I would say that you and I are 100% aligned on the topic. However, we were looking at the immediate differently. But you've had this painter and wrap. He does wraps, paint, all that stuff. And
we get our wheels, tires through them.
Yep. And we have everyone has their own brand color, right? And so it's not that ours is particular, or it's not that it's exclusive, but it was particular to the exact design when we originally created the company. It was based off of a shoe. And that painter made a formula where if you pretty much put the shoe up to the van, it was like you can't see it. And I think this will highlight the importance of, one, uniformity, but two, why having templates and rules is so important. Because I want to say 2 months ago, but like a month ago, you and I were talking. I said, dude, our Austin franchisee is in a bind. I just want our painter to send directly to him and let him get going with his, his new van.
Because he had like an accident or something, needed to get like a panel repainted. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you had brought up like, well, what's our current process on it? And I think that what I've discovered in the getting better in the franchise space is that it is so vital for your franchise's success to have everything written down. I feel like every week I'm reminded of something that I don't have an SOP for, like paint. And you were like, what's our process for paint? So I'm like, I don't know, Cameron. I don't know what our process for paint is, dude. Like, we have a guy that we've sent paint to once and the paint got damaged and he's in a bind. So I just want him to have direct access. You were like, don't do that. We want to make sure that, one, there's uniformity, but two, I wanted the guy to just explain the coloring to our franchisees, like painter. And that way he could just like avoid the shipping and just, I don't know how paint works, but I was kind of hoping that like how you do it at Home Depot where they say, oh, you want this color? It's a little bit of white, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And that wasn't the case. And I'm glad that I followed your advice because I've traveled to a few of our locations. And here's what's interesting. You can't tell when you're there that it's different. But I have seen vans. I've seen a Phoenix van in Utah or from Utah down to Phoenix and how different the paint is.
Yeah.
And you did your little Cameron thing where you're like, bro, it's so important that we have uniformity across the board for the brand. And again, we're in complete alignment for that. But you helped me see at the 10,000 foot view that like, hey, this quick Band-Aid might help this guy get his van painted a couple days sooner. but it won't be good long term to have that uniformity in color and in brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, one, you've always been very strict on budging, even like, if I could say this right, you can correct me, but like being in coconut, but not really being in coconut, you have a few things you're extremely particular about. Like, hey, I just want to see any hat, shirt, whatever, before it goes out for print.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're just doing the same thing. And you said, we need to have the uniformity. I even got, engaged, and I sent you a picture of, when, Dusty was our partner. And even at that time, there was 3 technicians next to each other. 4. 2 of them had different shades of blue, and the other 2 had different shades of gray. And I'm like, back in your face. And you were like, great. That validates what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying we've done it perfectly. I'm just saying that moving forward, we should really, stress that importance.
Yeah.
And I have my own stories on why I know that's important, but I wanted to tee you up for like, where has it come from for you to be so particular in having a strict, not only brand rule guide, but also just templates for most anything that you want to duplicate?
I just think it creates a lot less headache for us in the future, like, period, right? So if we have, like, shame on us, and this is like, who would have thought that we had to have our painting shipping arrangement done before we started franchising? But ideally, like, that's now on our checklist if we ever started a new franchising company, which I don't think we will. Never say never. That we'll have like a method to how to get our paint, to how to ship it, to how to wrap it so it doesn't get damaged, because we've sent 3 different paint buckets out and they've gotten damaged 3 different times. And so I told you, I was like, bro, like, you physically wrap it in the bubble paper and the, in the padding and whatever we need to do, but get it to them. Because uniformity, to me, like, I understand, because I'm not a very visual, or I'm not a very artistic person. And so but I feel like I know what looks good. Like, I walk into this podcast studio, I'm like, dude, this thing looks great.
Right.
But if I was the one in charge of saying, hey, I want to make this, background with that book, with this color, like, I can't articulate that. Yeah. But when I look at it, I know it looks good. And I think a lot of people are like me, to where they understand what looks great, but they can't tell you why it feels great or why it looks great. And so the thing about colors that I understand, because I've done it multiple times now, is that, this van might look great, but if this van's a different shade because it was painted by a different painter, and like, we're talking about a little bit more, I don't even understand paint to understand it complete, but it's like they put a little bit more sheen on that. Like, it's going to come out a little bit shinier, a little bit more dull, or a little bit brighter, or, whatever. How many times does one van come up to a customer's house and just like that touch and that feel, that when they look out there and there's like 2 different shades off, and it's like the lettering was done this way and the vinyl was done that way, or this fan, like, and it's just like the little things that really, one thing that I should do is just like kind of relax a little bit, because I know at the end of the day, like, does it really make a huge difference? Probably not. But at the end of the day, like, if we can preach to our people premium from top to bottom, like, they can't be like, dude, it's not like my buddy Rob. I love Rob. He's my best friend, but he swears, a lot. And he tells his kids, like, do as I say, not as I do. And like, I kind of hate that, it's like, dude, come on, man. Love you, Rob. He doesn't listen to these. And so, like, that's the thing with brand, that's the thing with images and with uniforms, of what I feel like is important for us, is that if we have all of our systems in place, all the metrics in place, and then what we've gotten really good at the past probably 8 months is like the pay correlates with those things. Like, now we're winning. Now you can go to Minnesota. Now you can focus on franchising. Now you can go build your brand or whatever it is, and the baby's taken care of. Yeah. And that's what I love. And so with our shirts, we're coming into the same thing, right? Like, hey, it's hard to get the shirts. I kept getting kind of frustrated, because a big part of it, like, I respect Dusty's branding so much that, like, I think you would agree with me. Like, he is one of the best branding experts out there. Yeah. And so part of me is like, I don't want to mess that up. And so I want to hold true to what Dusty created, because I value what he created. But styles change, trends change, and I understand that. And so, like, naturally, like, shirts, when Dusty and I first started Green Mango, like the golf shirt with no collar, I forget what they call it. what's it called? What it has no collar. There's a certain name for it. It's a style of shirt.
Yeah.
Like that didn't exist, right? And so like I think it's better than like a nasty collar that has like bacon collar
and
on
like
it now.
the end is wicking up and
And so I understand like it goes from skinny jeans to baggy to like, so those things are going to change, right? And so let's keep up on that. But one of the things that we talked about is that like, hey, our franchisees are looking to us for uniforms. We're running out. Sometimes I'd come to the office and like there would be this nasty blue. And poor Kate, who's over our marketing, is like trying her best to fulfill it and like find the right shirt. And that's frustrating in and of itself. And so finally I was like, bro, like let's go to a distributor, like send them our favorite shirts, send them the colors that we like, and like get our own shirts printed. And the first samples just came back. And I'm like, this is one of the shirts, right? Like I'm so stoked and happy. And what's cool is like now we have a template, and I'm sure in a couple of years from now, we're gonna have to change the style, but with the design, and this is one of the things that I try to do intentionally. It's like, hey, don't make it so it's like trendy, right? When we were building our house, builders kept telling us, hey, you like that, but this is like a fade, like this is a trend that's gonna come in and go out. Like if you want a house that's classic where you don't have to redesign it in 3 years from now, like go with this style. That's what I was hoping for with the shirts. Like our logo, like we're not going to change our logo anytime soon. Right. Maybe we'll rebrand in 5-10 years or something and like kind of do something that keeps up. But the point is that like our shirts that we have now that we can send out to the masses are our color that align with us. We've now learned like, hey, a white shirt probably isn't, smart for our guys for uniforms, even though it looks so good on. So like black wasn't originally in our thing, but like now we have a black shirt and we've made it really cool to where only the top guys get the black shirts. And then you have the blue and you have the darker gray. And have we sent out hats? That's probably the last thing we need to do is send out hats to get made.
Yeah. So we're inquiring from 3 different manufacturers.
Yeah. So like the different hat colors, and it's like, dude, that blue's completely off. That black, is it black? Is it white? So we were talking about like, why don't we just have a nice solid gray? Like that's one of our color tones that we have. Like, let's get the same gray in. And, so the point is like on my one-on-one call, I'm kind of rambling right now, but it's just, you see it, I see it. Like, he's like, I've been coaching with him for, I think 5 or 6 months now. He's like, Cameron, I'm finally seeing it. Like everything's coming together. Like all the systems, all the processes you've had me do that I've been doing, like, it's coming together where I'm not having to put out fires every single day and I can go work on the business. Yep. And to me, like, that's what every entrepreneur is going for. That's what allowed me to have the freedom to work as much or as little as I wanted in Green Mango. Yeah. And that's what's going to help everyone out there get free as well, is that if you create these systems, if you create these templates for people to follow and they agree with them, like you're going to succeed. People don't want to be managed. People don't want to be babysat. You and I both know that. And we hate doing that too as entrepreneurs. And so if you can give them a template, I'm experiencing it right now with, I've created this team for Hype Farm for my personal brand. And, I created this template that we fill out every single week. That's like kind of goes through like, hey, here's the activities on my week. How are we going to showcase them? And there's 3 things like scale, sell, and set you free, which is like freedom, hobbies. Scaling is like all the business stuff that we talk about. And then like selling is business application, right? And then I've attached KPIs, key performance indicators for my personal brand. Hey, we need to post premium mindset once a week. We need to, 4 stories a day, 1 post a day. And I have these things. Well, for the past 2 months with this new team, we haven't been hitting it. And I've tried to sit back and be a little bit patient because I'm like, it's a new team. We're new. You can only imagine, how crazy I'm getting. And it's like every week, 13% complete, 25% complete, 30% complete. So finally, or I guess it was Monday, I was like, hey guys, what's up? Like it's been 2 months now. The newness is off. We have the KPIs. Why aren't we hitting it? Like there's no excuse why this team can't hit it. And the feedback came back is like, I don't even understand these KPIs. Why are we doing these KPIs? Sure. Half the things that we're doing aren't on here. And so it's like, cool. Like I'm not attached to any of these things. These are just what I feel like was a good idea, right? I've only been running them for 2 years and it's worked. So why would it still work? I'm just kidding. I'm just giving shame to Cody here. No, but it's like now this week we're going to go back to the team and be like, let's take things away. Let's add to them and let's make it better. And hopefully I can report back in 2 weeks from now that it's like now my team understands the KPIs. They've helped me create it, and now we're accomplishing it. And if someone doesn't, like there's probably a really good reason why we did it.
It was more of a portrayal of what you were saying that would allow me to give a visual representation to Pesco at the time. That's what was going on, is that the leadership team, what I love about them is they're just extremely curious, and they probe every little thing regardless of you, the founder,
success.
saying it's tried and true, right? Yeah. So the CEO,
which was a little frustrating.
He's like 6'7", comes into the office. Why do we do this? Why do the techs wear those shoes? I'm like, what are we doing here? But
we've been through this.
There's magic in the formula of like, he's saying, look, that's your template to get to a point to be acquired. And I think that's what's phenomenal. I think you'd recommend that to, anyone in pest control, which would be to position yourself to be acquired. But what he was saying is like, look, that was your rule set to position yourself to be acquired. Now we have a private equity rule set that gives us the highest probability of succeeding by, with the idea that we're rolling up these companies. And so I am following my rule set for the next step of Green Mango. Yeah. And it's question everything. And so I made this Jenga set and I brought it into them. I said, you guys asked me yesterday, what makes Green Mango Green Mango? And I'm like, this is it. And I don't know what piece you're going to pull is going to make it fall. But
such a good illustration.
All I know is that this is what made it the most dominant business here in Arizona and in the service industry. And yeah, we can plug and play. But this is everything that made Green Mango. And this is the very thing that I'm running into issues with Coconut. Cause like when I call you to pick your brain, it's like, I have to get above the business even farther and just like give you a call sometimes. Cause we have this reoccurring event where if you take the same analogy of the Jenga set, right, we've literally copy and pasted most every principle that Green Mango, all the other businesses had. And I feel like Coconut is a combination of the infrastructure is built to be the best of all of them. But what fails? The accountability, implementation, follow-up of the things that are already in play. So Cole's our right hand at Coconut, Arizona. We were talking about all this pay change and changing the pay, and I went to Vegas and I texted him. I said, we're not changing anything until we uphold what we already have in play. Like, we can't change the pay if the current pay allows for bonuses and commissions, but the people have forgot about them because they're not being, upheld or keeping them in the forefront of their mind, right? And so, again, maybe we can, put up a picture of the Jenga set, because I feel like I took like an hour to think of like every little thing from like brand rules to lead nurture plan to the Nike to everything was just laid out. And when I zoom out and look at Coconut, I'm like, it's there. The auditing is there. The leadership is there. The commission correlated to if this person succeeds and hits this, it also directly impacts the company for the better, is there. The fleet's there. The uniforms are there. The training's there. What is not being upheld? And that's right now, when I call you, I'm like, Cameron, this is the problem. Here's the constraint. And it almost always defaults back to one of the core values that you have in terms of what any business should have, regardless of service or any other type of business, and that's auditing, and that's an accountability system. So what's funny is that I had a little debacle with the team today, because I said, you know what, I'm going to get on the phones. I'm making sales. Make me it's our software. I said, make me an account. I'm not going to use my phone because I'm going to call bulk today. I'm going to go crazy. And they're like, oh, Kayla, Cisco took the last account. And I'm like, they said we have to email in and request more users. I'm like, guys, Kayla Cisco hasn't worked here for a year. And they were like, okay, but last month James asked for her to be added into our system to help. I was like, okay, something in our system where I want to be notified of any new employee is failing because I didn't know. So I reach out to James. I say, hey, James, could you help me understand like what Kayla's role is? He's like, there's no role in Coconut. I'm like, okay, what's going on? He's like, oh, she's an auditor for Hype Farm, your agency. Mm-hmm. I'm like, where's the disconnect here? Like something's already missing in the principle of auditing. Something is missing. And so clearly you are someone
we were going to have her audit Coconut. I think that's probably what happened, right? Because for a minute there, she was going to help audit Coconut, wasn't she?
She was going to relieve Maze of auditing, and Maze was going to help James with more of the financial aspect.
That's probably what,
But like I was under the impression that, the customers that she's helping for you was going to take all of her time. So like almost in the same breath of like, here's an idea, she was also going to be occupied with you. So like, I'm like, wait, what's going on? Anyway, I was reminded this morning, I'm like, just so you guys understand that Cameron, isn't always, adamant about expressing because he doesn't want people to feel like, hey, this show is just a sales pitch, because it's not. But I was reminded this morning because something you didn't even tell me. I'm like, there's Cameron spending more of his money bringing on people, enforcing the principles that you've always believed to be important. Because what I do know is that you value money and taking care of your family and your people. And so I was reminded again that Cameron is investing again in auditing. And if I could just wrap up real quick, like this issue and kind of bring the uniformity and all of it together, it's that if you think of that Jenga set, brand rules is one piece of a Jenga set. Mm-hmm. Everything else is from operations, KPIs, all that. And so if you're in your company and you are putting out fires, you're dealing with the same issue over and over again, and you're not getting ahead of the problems and systemizing your business in a way that mitigates problems and increases success around the best operational systems, you're missing out. I'm missing out at Coconut because I keep falling short of one of these principles.
Yeah.
But uniformity is extremely important in every aspect. And then once you have all the rule sets, all the templates, having someone inspecting the infrastructure and probing the KPIs and the tie-betweens with operations and your bottom line is your next step. And Cameron, I know you say you don't like talking about topics multiple times, but like here you are again, bringing an auditor on your Hype Farm team to help your current clients because you believe in it that much.
Yeah, man. You know what I was thinking? Like, so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, like what stops people? Like you're that entrepreneur that's listening and you're putting out the fires every single day. How do you rise above that? You're like, yeah, I get it. I want to do that, but where's the time? Like I literally have no time.
Yeah.
Right. This is where I would talk about like the compound effect is real. And it's so funny. I don't know why, but I was thinking this morning. So it's probably been 3 years now, but let's say it's been 2 since I was training with my good buddy Terrence at TI Fitness. Like love Terrence, but I moved out to Queen Creek and it was like a 35 minute drive to get to him every single day. And I was just like, dude, I love you, T, but it's too much time, man. I called this other buddy who I work out with now, Bryson. Yeah. And I'm like, hey man, can I pay you to work out with you? And he's like, no, just come work out. I won't let you pay. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be a burden. Like, just let me pay you. Let me come, whatever. And he's like, no, I will not let you pay me. Come work out. And I was thinking this morning, I don't know why, but I'm like, dude, if Bryson would have let me just paid him $20 a day, to come work out, like 5 days a week, just like doing a rough math for 2 years, like that's $10,000. Like imagine what 10 grand would mean to Bryson or to you or to me, like anyone.
Yeah.
Like the little amount every single day is a lot.
Yep.
And so that's what I would say to people that are in the thick of it. It's like, if you can't do 10 minutes a day to working on like a playbook or a business or like something within your business to help you get to where we're talking about today, like do it for 1 hour a week or, 30 minutes a week, like whatever it is, those little things compound over time. And like, it's just, I can't, like, there's so many examples of that, of just, Yeah, of just doing that one little thing. So wherever you're at today, try and set some time aside. If you can't do it every single day, do it once a week. And if you can't allocate an hour, do 30 minutes. Watch what happens in 6 months from now. Like,
and
it's
use
crazy.
Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Hey, chat, write me an auditing format for my inside call center.
Yeah.
I want these KPIs are very important to me. This is the template that I want. Make it for me. Done.
Yeah, go there and then come back and add the human touch to it. But at least it's better than where you're at right now.
Right.